right, good evening and welcome to Channel 8 Update on this 18th day of April 2018. I'm Patrick Ryan.
And I'm Macy Cosmore.
Tonight, the nation mourns the death of former First Lady Barbara Bush. She was 92 years old. In her final days, she opted not to receive any medical treatment, instead choosing comfort care, known often for being fiercely down to earth. She was considered the matriarch of what is often called the Bush political dynasty. She was the 41st First Lady, loyal mother to George W. Bush, the 43rd president. And she defended her other son, Jeb Bush, against attacks from Donald Trump during the 2016 election. She and George also celebrated their 73rd anniversary in January. There is no doubt that she was an inspiration to many across the world, and she will be thoroughly missed and remembered for many of her inspiring words during her life. She once said, quote, "Some people give time, some money, some their skills and connections, some literally their life's blood, but everyone has something to give."
Patrick, thank you. And if you haven't heard, April is Earth Month, and our campus has several upcoming events tailored to this month. This week in particular is No Impact Week, a week which challenges participants to decrease the environmental impact. Each day of the week, a different challenge is put in place. It's not too late to sign up and join the challenge. If you're interested, contact Tracy Marifiotti at tracy.marifiotti@fredonia.edu. Other upcoming events include a campus and community electronics recycling day this Saturday, the 21st, from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Also on Saturday is a beach cleanup at Point Gradient Beach from noon to 2 p.m. If you don't have a car and are still interested in participating in the beach cleanup, transportation will be provided outside of Jewett Hall, leaving at 11:30 a.m. Give back to the earth by participating in small steps to make our campus, community, and globe a cleaner place to live.
All right, Macy, thank you. And while Food Truck Thursday is quickly approaching on the SUNY Fredonia campus, a Wendy's food truck is expected to soon arrive downtown. The local Fredonia Wendy's restaurant on the corner of Route 60 and 20 has been demolished. According to a Pomfret town official, while the restaurant is being reconstructed, a Wendy's food truck will arrive on the site to serve the community in the meantime. Macy?
My stomach is definitely rumbling, and while spring officially begins nearly a month ago, it doesn't seem like that.
That is for sure. And it is chilly out there, Macy. I was cold. I wore a coat.
It was freezing.
I don't know why I'm talking like a robot.
It was freezing.
It was amazing. We have a picture that our weather lady, Dax Schaap, took a picture of outside the station today. It's looking a little cloudy out there, a little menacing, if you will.
Looks like winter.
It looks like winter, but it is spring, surprisingly. So take a look at that. We'll be back in just a minute.
You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How can you not love him?
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the
creative galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Welcome back. Topping international news tonight, yesterday, more than 200 child soldiers in South Sudan were released by armed forces. This is the first step in a plan which seeks to free approximately 1,000 children in the coming months. The UN claims that the number of children soldiers in South Sudan is amongst the highest in the world, with an estimated 19,000 children serving in the armed forces amidst Sudan's 5-year civil war. Tuesday's laying down of the guns ceremony saw 112 boys and 95 girls returning to their families outside of the town of Yambio. Mohamed Mado, UNICEF's representative in South Sudan, told the Associated Press, quote, "It's about sending a clear message that children should not be in the army," end quote. UNICEF went on to claim that the children who were released this week will receive psychological support, vocational training, and food assistance for the next 3 months.
According to the Washington Post on Saturday, the United States, Britain, and France all carried out missile strikes on Syria. Over 100 missiles in total were used by the 3 countries in response to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's use of chemical weapons within Syria. The missile strikes were fired from the U.S., French, and British air and naval platforms within the Persian Gulf, Red Sea, and Eastern Mediterranean. The first target was the Barzah, a research and development center located outside of Damascus. Barzah was reported to be a facility involved in weaponizing missiles and artillery with chemical weapons. The second and third target were that of the, quote, Him Shinshar chemical weapons complex outside of the city of Homs, end quote. The purpose of these strikes was to deter Assad from using chemical weapons again. U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley said at an Emergency Security Council called after the strikes that, quote, "If the Syrian regime uses the poisonous gas again, the United States is locked and loaded," end quote. The Security Council meeting was organized by Russia, an ally of Syria, who called for a vote to claim the strikes as being a violation of international law. The vote failed, with Russia's only supporters being Bolivia and China. The U.S. believes these strikes will impact Syria's capabilities in developing and deploying chemical weapons in the future.
Jax now joins us for your Channel 8 weather update.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Channel 8 weather update. I hope everyone is enjoying their hump day. We are looking at another relatively cold week with more temperatures in the 30s, rain, and snow. After tomorrow, there will likely be a couple of days of cold sunshine, followed by potential warming into the 50s by Monday. We won't see any more high winds or brutal snowstorms for the time being, which might allow commuters to rest easy. Next week will be chilly again, although out of the 30s and full of rain every day. It looks like we could be seeing those April showers all the way into May.
But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things. 2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks. Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh, no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school. Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today, I'm just an aluminum can, but one day, I could be a stadium.
And I can't change, even if I try. Even if I wanted to, my love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Welcome back. In your national news tonight, Starbucks confirmed that on May 29th, it will be shutting down more than 8,000 stores to allow time for employees to go through racial bias education. The training program is designed to address implicit bias, promote conscious inclusion, and prevent discrimination, and it will be provided to over 175,000 employees throughout the country. This announcement follows the arrest of 2 black men in Philadelphia at a Starbucks, whose identities have not been released. The men had been sitting in the store without buying anything and had refused to leave when the store manager called 911. According to the police, Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson met with the 2 men, the 2 men Monday, with promises to change the company. he told the public, quote, "I've spent the last few days in Philadelphia with my leadership team, listening to the community, learning that what we did was wrong, and the steps we need to take to fix it. While it's not limited to Starbucks, we're committed to being part of the solution," end quote.
Brynjar Karl Bigason, an Icelandic boy on the autism spectrum, was just 10 years old when he built the world's largest Lego replica of the Titanic with the help of his engineer grandfather, who took the original Titanic blueprint and scaled it down to 25 feet long and 5 feet tall, and his personal cheerleader, mother. Bigason was able to create his dream project. The replica was built over 700 hours, the course of 11 months, using 56,000 Lego bricks that were donated by friends and family. Bigason is now 15 years old, and according to CNN, quote, "He was able to embrace his autism through building the Titanic replica," end quote. The replica was shipped from Iceland in three pieces and put back together for its American debut at the Titanic Museum attraction in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee on Monday.
The 2018 Pulitzer Prize winners were announced on Monday, following a tumultuous year for the media as it coincided with President Trump's first year in office. In February of 2017, Trump cited various news agencies, including the New York Times, calling them, quote, "the enemy of the American people," end quote. While the New York Times left with 3 separate Pulitzer Prizes in the journalism categories this year. Perhaps most importantly, the New York Times and the New Yorker magazine both received the Pulitzer Prize for public service for the reporting on the revolutionary Harvey Weinstein scandal in October, which led to the explosion of the Me Too and Time's Up movements, as various other public figures received allegations, including NBC's Matt Lauer, CBS's Charlie Rose, House of Cards' Kevin Spacey, and Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore. For their coverage of Moore's allegations from years ago, The Washington Post also won the Investigative Reporting Award, as well as the National Reporting Prize for their coverage of possible Russian meddling in the 2016 election. According to the Associated Press, Pulitzer administrator Dana Kennedy says the prize winners, quote, "uphold the highest purpose of a free, independent press, even with the most trying of times. Their work is real news of the highest order, executed nobly as journalism always was intended, without fear or favor," end quote. And we're going to have Kevin Syracuse joining us for your Channel 8 sports update at the desk. Kevin, welcome.
The Fredonia softball team lost both games of their doubleheader today at Geneseo by scores of 4-3 and 7-0. Sophomore Katie Uden was the losing pitcher in Game 1, while sophomore Sam Seeger took the loss in Game 2. The Blue Devils are now 1-9 in conference play and 7-18-1 overall, and next host Potsdam on Saturday for a doubleheader. The Fredonia baseball team won the first game of their doubleheader today at New Paltz 9-8. Junior Luke Kazuski was the winning pitcher, while freshman first baseman Patrick Bigham led the way for the Blue Devil offense, going 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs. The Blue Devils couldn't finish the sweep of the Hawks as they lost the second game 6-3. Sophomore pitcher Nicholas Lawyer took the loss on the mound, while senior catcher JT Angora went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. The Blue Devils are now 2-8 in SUNYAC play and 12-11 overall, and next play at Brockport Saturday for a doubleheader with the Golden Eagles. And finally, the Buffalo Bills continue making changes to their roster prior to next Thursday's draft. The team signed wide receiver Jeremy Curley and defensive tackle Tenny Palpoy on Monday, before releasing defensive end Cap Cappy on Tuesday. Curley played with the Jets from 2011 to 2015 and then with the 49ers in 2016, before returning to play with the Jets last season, while Palpoy has spent his 4-year career with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Bills also signed running back Fred Jackson to a one-day contract today, as Jackson wanted to officially retire from the NFL as a Buffalo Bill. He played in Buffalo from 2007 to 2014 and rushed for 5,646 yards and 30 touchdowns during those 8 years. And we'll return in just a minute.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
See what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Welcome back. This is your Channel 8 weather update. After such an extended season of winter weather, I bet we are all very excited for a warm-up to happen soon. Unfortunately, I cannot promise much within the next 7 days, as it will stay in the 30s and 40s until about Monday or Tuesday. We may see temperatures in the 50s on those days, so try your best to pull through the chilly weather until then. Today and tomorrow, there are chances of both rain and snow, followed by a few days of respite from the wetness. Now here's a look at our 7-day forecast. Cold.
Cold.
Hello. So today we have a high of 39 and a low of 32. Thursday we're looking at a high of 36 and a low of 29. Friday we're looking at a high of 39 and a low of 25. Saturday a high of 42 and a low of 28. Sunday high of 46, low of 33. Apparently that is Earth Day. I see an Earth on the screen. Monday, high of 54, starting to warm up a little bit, and Tuesday, high of 58. That's been your Channel 8 weather update.
Now, that was a transition if I've ever seen one. Thanks for tuning in tonight to Channel 8 Update. On behalf of the entire team, have a great night.